and say go live. Fetching video stream. Today, we're going to talk about posing and the foundation posing framework, or our framework of posing. Oh, it's actually working. Yay. Wait. Okay. Yes. This is working. Fantastic. Okay, so we have a question here from Dimitri. And I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your middle name. Your last name looks like it's Larson. Dimitri Larson. Okay. He says, do you have some plan on posing, a schedule or a way to optimize how to pose the subjects? Absolutely. We totally do. And here's the thing. In a studio like ours, we have approximately a team of 40 shooters. We have to have some sort of a system and framework to teach people that are coming in how to pose. This is one of those areas for photographers that is definitely one of the most difficult areas to master. And in the meanwhile, you're going to feel like when you're going out in these shoots, you're running out of posing ideas and you're running out of like what to do and how to get a certain look. You're going to get back to the studio and go, why is this not look the way I want it to? And what's wrong with this pose? Well, we developed an entire framework for posing called the Foundation Posing Framework, which teaches this. Now, the entire section for foundation posing, we talk about it in the Creative Live course. It's in the Natural Light Couples Photography course. We're diving into males and females and the couple in our wedding series. So we're going into the groom posing and the bride posing and then their couples posing. So it's basically in all of these different courses. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a kind of a sneak peek at that, and also just some tips with our basic framework to help you guys out. So what I'm going to do is switch this guy. Let's switch this guy over to the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my, hey, look at that. Okay, so this is from the Creative Live slides that we did. And what I want to show you guys is the foundation posing framework in terms of the positioning of the feet. I developed this framework because I realized at a point that most poses, something like 98% of the poses that I was studying was based upon 5 different positions of the feet. And so starting from the feet up, we have this V up, where I'm going to demonstrate, or I'll show you guys each one of these, but the V up is basically where their shoulders make a hinge on the back and their bodies kind of form in a shape of a V. They're both kind of facing in toward each other. Closed is when they're facing in, so their feet are pointed in at each other. Open is when they are open to the camera. Stacked is when one person is standing in front of the other, and reversed is when one person is facing one direction away from camera and one person is facing into the camera. Then from there, we simply make small adjustments. So let me go ahead and close this guy out. So once I show you guys the foundation posing in terms of like their feet, we have a ton of different guidance in terms of like guidance for him, guidance for her, their body language, all this kind of stuff. But one of the things that I want to show is touch points. For a more romantic image, the more touch points that you have along the body, along the limbs, everything, the more romantic it's going to feel. And the less you have, the more whimsical and candid and playful it's going to be. So let me show you guys some examples now of what exactly I'm talking about. So let's look at, this is from the wedding workshop that's coming up. These are just all the raw images that I have. We just filmed this session, and so these are not edited. I think I had a couple teasers in here that I posted for the bride and groom. But I want to show you guys the different poses. So basically this first pose right here, this is basically what we're talking about with the V up, where he's kind of turned in a little bit, she's hugging onto him and faced inwards. And we basically say that their shoulder, where they're touching right here, I tell them that that's, pretend like it's the hinge on a door. So if I say, I want you, Derek, to open up, he just basically opens like a door. And if I say I want you to close, he closes. Now this is so simple and intuitive that anybody, and I'm talking literally anybody, will understand what you mean when you just say that. You put them in this position, you say, pretend your shoulder is the hinge on a door, and you can say, okay, I want you to open or I want you to close. And from there we go, okay, so for example, if you guys both open, we go into essentially an open pose, which is this guy, okay? If you guys close against each other, so here is back to that kind of V-up shot. If you guys, let's see, go to this one. So what would this one be? This is that reverse pose where one person's facing basically away, the other one's into the camera. That's reversed. Their feet positions are, one's away and one's towards. Let's go down and let's see here. This is a stacked pose. He's behind her, her feet are stacked against his. So this basic feet positioning is all we use to get people into different poses, and then we simply adjust the different touch points on their body to create either a more whimsical or more romantic look and feel to it. Now, of course, there's lots of guidance in terms of the eyes and where they're facing and kind of what they're doing with their hands, but just take a look at how simple this is. So let's flip through some of these images right here. So this is basically a V up. Look how they're facing in towards each other. They're kind of making the shape of a V. The only difference is instead of having them get close, I'm having them just hold hands in the center and step a little bit apart from each other. Okay? So this is still the V up though. Okay? All of this is still the V up. Now, I have her step a little bit more in front of him, and then I bring him to the back, and all I'm doing is just adjusting face positions now. Have her look into the camera, have him look towards her. Okay? Same thing. So this is just basically like this is basically just the V up with her a little bit forward, and that's it. Okay, let's go into this shot. So this is still kind of, she's closing against him. It's like a V up where I said, I want you to close against him. So he's open to the camera and she's closed against him. Okay, moving forward, I'm simply adjusting kind of hands and saying, grab your tie, or grab his tie, not hers. Going in, and this is one of my favorite things to do, is I have their eyes going down towards the direction of each other, and it creates this very kind of candid kind of moment. These are the touch points that we're talking about. So the more hands, like if he brings his left hand around her back, it's going to feel more intimate, versus right now he has his left hand on his belt buckle for some reason. I think I adjusted it after that shot to get it around the backside. Okay, what is this shot? So let's go and find one that's actually in focus. This is them basically being closed against each other. So they're closed, but they're one step apart from each other. Let's keep going. Okay, this is that same thing, the V up with her just a little bit more closed towards him. Let's see if we can find an actual closed pose. Here's one that's pretty dang closed. The only difference is we're shooting into his face and having her look to the left side. So they're basically closing against each other. Here is a fully closed pose. Okay, so feet are in towards each other. And this is where we are going to have that sense of like a very romantic shot, because all along their bodies are touch points, all the way up to the faces and so forth. You have them kiss, and now it's even more romantic versus if they're just looking at each other. Okay, so this is our schedule for posing, and there's so much detail in there. But just that simple tip of understanding the 5 basic feet positioning and understanding that more contact points is going to be more romantic and less contact points is going to be more whimsical, that's immediately going to help you. And from there, all you're going to do is make micro adjustments. You're going to have her look to one place, him look towards another. You're going to have her into the camera, him towards her. You're going to have her look down, and so forth. Let me flip this over back to my webcam. So from there, it's just a matter of just adjusting like minor things, like micro posing basically. But that should give you guys a lot of guidance. Now, what I want to say is refer to the courses for more guidance, because what we do is we talk and give examples on head angle, body language. We go through the foundation posing in depth. We talk about guidance for him, for her. We talk about the body language and the intimacy, the 3-point check from Roberto Valenzuela. We talk about body posing posing and body language and general tips, and a lot more that we can't really throw into just a 10-minute video on Facebook Live. But hopefully you guys enjoyed these basic little tips here, and I'm done with this video, and I'll see you guys in the next Ask SLR Lounge. I can't talk. But to ask questions, be sure to go to slrlounge.com/Ask SLR Lounge. Post your questions there. If we select your question, we're going to create a Facebook Live about it, and you guys can find more information on all of our tutorials and education through this article or the link on Facebook. My name is Pi. See you guys next time. Oh, I gotta click stop now. Oh, over here. Okay. And there we go.